My friends, we're all in this together. You have to let the truckers, when they stop for gas, if they stop for food, let them use the washrooms. Clean your washrooms. Let them use your washrooms. Because if it wasn't for the truckers, you wouldn't even be open. You wouldn't even have any items in your stores to sell if it wasn't for these same people that are hauling goods from one end of our country to the other.
One of the unlikely heroes out of this COVID-19 crisis has become the trucker. They haven't had it this good since the 1970s with Teddy Bear's Last Ride and Smokey and the Bandit. Now, they're being hailed as heroes by everyone from the Prime Minister to premiers across the country, mayors. Everyone has words of praise for the truckers who are making sure our hospitals and our frontline workers are well stocked with protective equipment to allow them to do their jobs, that they have the supplies to look after COVID-19 patients, and that our store shelves still have the supplies that we need, the food that we need to go on with what's left of our daily lives. Yet, in the middle of this, truckers aren't being treated as well as you might expect, as was shown in this front page story column from my colleague Brian Pacifium at the Toronto Sun, showing that, look, some truckers are being told, you can't use the washroom. You're not allowed inside the building. You just sit out there in your truck. Well, this is a real problem and one that needs to be dealt with. Now, Murray Tedderoff is a trucker out of Rosetown, Saskatchewan. He has been in the business for decades. He says he's never seen it quite like this. Bob Murray is another one out of Oakville, Ontario. He says he hasn't seen it like this. Truckers telling us that, you know what, they stop off to drop off a load of supplies and they're told, nope, can't use the washroom. They drop off a load and then they try and go get a coffee, or they're on their way to try and get a coffee or a bite to eat. Well, their trucks won't fit the drive-thrus. So many places are closed, and many drive-thrus won't actually serve them as they walk up to the window. Everywhere's closed. What on earth are they going to do? Well, Ontario Premier Doug Ford decided enough is enough. He's calling out these companies that are treating truckers less than human.
Have a heart. Let these folks that are keeping our economy going. Put it this way, Brian. Just imagine if the truckers just said the same thing. That's it. We're done. We aren't doing it anymore. The economy would come to a screeching halt.
Now, we'll see if Ford's words actually have any impact. They have in the past. The Premier has had no problem calling out companies by name, naming and shaming people that are not doing the right thing in the middle of this pandemic. So will we start seeing the fast food restaurants, the places that truckers are dropping off, start treating them properly? Let's hope so. Ontario's Labour Minister Monty McNaughton has been on the phone with organizations imploring them to do the right thing. The United Steelworkers, an organization representing many truckers, has also put out a statement saying we need to make sure that hygiene is available for truckers as well. Look, we all need to pull together in these times, and that means treating each other as human beings, making sure that everyone is able to look out for themselves while looking out for each other. These are the people that are putting the supplies on our store shelves, that are putting the supplies in our hospitals, allowing them to use the restroom or at least get a bite to eat or a cup of coffee on the way is the least that we can do. If we're going to get through this, we're going to get through it together, and that means give the truckers a break.